All right, everyone, welcome to the AO2 powered by Seller Labs and Buy with Prime webinar. Today, we are going to just educate you a little bit more about what Buy with Prime is and how it can be helpful for your business. So I'm going to give everyone a couple minutes to drop in, just let everybody get settled, but I wanted to go ahead and start out with some housekeeping. So first and foremost, we are doing a giveaway today. So we're doing 3 $100 Amazon gift cards to the general audience here. You don't have to be here right now to win, but definitely stick around through the end because you'll have opportunities to win throughout the event. Those are going to be randomly announced during the webinar, and we do have a random name generator. What we'll do is call out your initials, but give the full name at the end. So, if you have common initials, definitely stick around to the end because it may be you that has won, but you won't know until we get to the very end of this presentation to be able to let everyone know. Additionally, I wanted to just remind everyone we have both chat and Q&A enabled here. Chat is for just general chit chat. Tell us where you're from. We'll be thanking you for joining us. We'll be giving you advice and details throughout the event in the chat. But if you have questions that you want answered live, make sure you're putting those in the Q&A so that we're not missing them if the chat is particularly active. So chit chat in the chat, questions in the Q&A section. And if we keep it all straight like that, we should be pretty good to go. And I think that is it as far as housekeeping stuff. So I'll go ahead and jump into introductions here. We have a large team with us today. So thankful that everyone has been able to join us, and all of these great representatives from Amazon Buy with Prime were able to join us as well. So for those of you who don't know me, you may have seen me either from the Seller Lab side or AO2. My name is Jessica Wright. I am the partnership manager for both AO2 and Seller Labs, and also kind of your webinar host for all events across both of those companies. So you'll see my face a lot. And then I'll throw over to Aman first, another face you might be familiar with from AO2. Aman, you want to introduce yourself?
Definitely. Just like Jessica, if you haven't seen me, I'll be around with AO2 for the foreseeable future, and you can catch me in all these events. I'm our Senior Director of Operations, and I have many years of experience with Amazon, and more recently have been working a lot with Lisa and the Buy with Prime team, so I'm excited to jump into Buy with Prime.
Awesome. Well, since he's mentioned Lisa, I'll go ahead and throw it over to Lisa next. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lisa Abel. I work with the Buy with Prime team, and I work with agencies like both of these fantastic agencies that came together. What a powerhouse. And I'm excited to be here and hopefully can help in any way that I can. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we're glad to have you. Thank you. And then similar, as Aman mentioned, he's worked a lot with Lisa onboarding clients for AO2. So David has been my counterpart with the Seller Labs clients. So David, throw it over to you for intro as well.
Thanks, Jessica. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining today. Appreciate it. And we're looking forward to discussing Buy with Prime with you. I am an agency partner manager as well, as Jessica mentioned. I've been around at Amazon for just over 7 years, most of my time at Amazon Pay and also now Buy with Prime. Excited to be here. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome, thank you. And then Lynn will be doing the majority of the presenting today. So thank you big time to Lynn for this deck and for all of the knowledge you're going to bring us. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much, Jessica. My name's Lynn Suter. I'm part of the merchant team with Buy with Prime. I'm very excited to talk with you about Buy with Prime. And just to give you a little bit of background about me, before I joined the Buy with Prime team, I worked with merchants on the Amazon platform, helping them grow their business, specifically health and beauty and consumables products. So I've really enjoyed being able to take that knowledge and experience and then work with merchants as well on their D2C sites.
Great. Well, we're so glad to have you. Thank you again. And I guess we'll jump right into this deck. Real quick, just reminder for anybody who wasn't here with us in the beginning, we are doing some giveaways today. We're giving away 3 $100 Amazon gift cards. Stick around through the end of the presentation for all of your chances to win, but we will be randomly doing those throughout the presentation, and we'll just be calling out initials. So 3 different times. You have 3 chances to win. We'll call out the initials of the winners, but we'll give the full names at the end of the event. So stick around to make sure you know if you have won. And now I am going to try my best to share my screen here. So see how this goes. All right, I believe I am ready to go.
Yeah, great. And we can just go ahead to the next slide.
All right.
There we go. So Buy with Prime is a new offering. We've been in market about a year. And the whole idea behind Buy with Prime is that we want to allow our 200 million Prime customers and partners, merchants and sellers to be able to really utilize Buy with Prime on your D2C sites and reach those 200 million consumers that are using Buy with Prime as they purchase. This allows you a great opportunity for consumers to use that easy Prime member checkout, have the product delivered by Amazon. And then there's also that trusted delivery in that consumers are very comfortable using Amazon and using the payment process through Amazon. So it allows us to take that Prime experience and bring it to your website as well. I just want to really walk you through what the shopper experience looks like. This is an example of a product detail page. If you just go to the next slide, you'll see that underneath the cart, there's actually the Buy with Prime button as well. So a consumer can choose to purchase utilizing the Buy with Prime button. And if they click on that, we'll go to the next slide. It's going to take them to a sign into their normal Amazon account, which they're very comfortable with. If they're like me, they're automatically already signed in, but if they're not, they would very quickly sign into their account. They'd put in their password. They'd click sign in to use a secure server. And then they literally place their order. It's that easy for them to make a purchase with Buy with Prime. So if they also want to, they can change where the product's being shipped to, the delivery, and the delivery date. Once that purchase is made, shoppers are also going to get a notification that the purchase has been made, and they'll get updates as that purchase is ordered, shipped, out for delivery, and then also delivered. So they'll be able to see, just like with Amazon, where their purchase is. What's nice about Buy with Prime is that they get the fast free shipping that Buy with Prime provides. And they can track when their package is going to be delivered to their home. So it makes that customer experience very easy. We'll just go to the next slide. And we've seen a very good conversion rate with Buy with Prime. This is an example of Epic Water Filters, who actually saw a 40% increase in conversion when they added Buy with Prime to their website. And on average, we're seeing about a 25% conversion. So if we can just go to the next slide. The other thing that we're finding is a lot of times the conversion rates are very high with first-time consumers. Sharpani saw an 87% increase on first-time consumers. Waze saw a 45% increase, and Hydralyte has actually seen a 90% first-time Buy with Prime consumers are first-time customers. And this makes a lot of sense because if you think about your normal shopping process, you know, you're usually on your phone, you might be looking at products and kind of getting ideas of things you want to buy. And by clicking on that Buy with Prime button, it just makes it so easy to make a purchase. And to check out. You don't have to add in your credit card information or your address, all that's already there. So it just makes a very simple transaction for the customer.
Awesome. I think now probably is a good time. We do have a poll queued up to see if people are interested in actually seeing like a real example of a Buy with Prime page, right? So I'm going to launch this poll really quickly, give some time to answer that. Would anyone watching us live here be interested in seeing some Buy with Prime website examples? Go ahead and drop your answers in there. I'll give a couple more seconds. Just make sure we have some interest. All righty. I'm going to end the poll now, and it looks like we are about 86% interested
Oh,
in
wow.
checking out those, checking out those examples. So I'm going to end this poll and throw it over to you, Lynn, to show some examples. And then just a heads up, after these examples, we'll go ahead and do our first giveaway as well.
Great. So I'm going to share my screen here. Can everyone see the PetMed screen?
Add us in the chat. I haven't, it hasn't popped up yet for me, but I don't know that I will see it. So if someone can see it, just let us know in the chat.
I don't think we can see the screen.
Yeah, not yet.
Let's try this.
Looks like it's coming up now. Yep.
Great. So this is an example of PetMed. And as you can see in this example, when you scroll down, there is all of their products. And then they also have a Buy with Prime button so that you can quickly find the Buy with Prime collection page, which has Buy with Prime offerings. So when we click on that Buy with Prime collections page, it takes us to all the products that have the Buy with Prime widget. And then we can scroll down and very quickly just see that Buy with Prime button that they can click on. Those consumer will see when the product will be delivered, and then they can purchase straight from the Buy with Prime widget on their site. And then I can show you another example as well. Let me know when you can see.
It's popping up now.
Awesome. So this is Swell surfboards. And on this example, I'm going to actually put this on a bigger screen. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulty.
It's buying me a little time to make sure that when I have to go back to screen sharing, I get it right. So I appreciate it.
So here's Swell skateboards. And as you can see, it's so graphic. And when you scroll down, they've actually created also a Buy with Prime collections page. So so the consumers can very quickly see the Buy with Prime products. And then it takes them through to the Buy with Prime button.
I think we lost you for just a second and your screen disappeared. So we can't see the share screen anymore.
Sure. Can everyone see the screen now?
There it is.
There we go. So here again, this is Swell Surfboards that has a Buy with Prime collections page. And when we click on that, it provides the FAQs for Buy with Prime. And then it's also got all of the different products that are available with Buy with Prime. So a consumer can quickly click on one, and then the Buy with Prime logo is on the site for them to be able to access.
I'm really glad you shared the collections page, and sorry to interrupt, but this just reminded me of something, and maybe you're covering it later, but since you're talking about the collections page, and you know, this is showing everything that this particular brand has available on Buy with Prime.
Sorry about that.
Oh, there you're fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. The light just went out in the office.
So a brand doesn't have to offer all of their products through Buy with Prime. If they don't stock all of their inventory at Amazon, that doesn't exclude them from Buy with Prime, right?
No, they absolutely can pick and choose which products that you want to have on Buy with Prime. And when we have fewer products on your website than on Buy with Prime, we then strongly suggest that we do create a collections page, and we can work with AO2 to help implement that for you, so that consumers can very easily see what can be purchased with Buy with Prime. Another good point with that is Buy with Prime will fulfill orders using your FBA inventory. So if your FBA inventory is below a certain amount of units so that we can't deliver within that Prime promise, the button will automatically be removed from the detail page as well. So it's really something that you can go ahead and set it and then not worry that if you're out of inventory, the Buy with Prime button will still show.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
So we'll go back to, I'll stop sharing here. And if we want to go back to the presentation.
Yep, I'll start pulling that up, and to buy me a little bit of time to make sure I do that right. Lisa, are you ready for a giveaway?
I couldn't be more excited.
Let's guess what it is.
Okay. We have LF as in Frank. L as in Larry, F as in Frank is our first winner.
All righty, so a reminder, hang around until the end. That's when we'll be revealing full names, but if those are your initials, start getting excited, because you probably have a very good chance of being the winner right now. All right, can everyone see my screen again? Are we ready to move forward with the rest of the deck? Good to go? Okay, cool.
Awesome. Well, let's go to the next page. And here's some examples of utilizing Buy with Prime. You have the ability to use the Buy with Prime logos in your advertising and promotions. So here's some examples of using the Buy with Prime logo in both email and Instagram. And then as well, you can utilize it in your search, so that as consumers are searching your products, they can see as well that they can purchase with Amazon. And you can go ahead and go to the next
Okay,
slide.
sorry.
Great minds are thinking alike. So the pricing for Buy with Prime is that it's a pay-as-you-go service. You don't pay for Buy with Prime or for any of the integrations until a purchase is made. So there's three components to the pricing, very similar to Amazon. There's the Buy with Prime service fee. Normally the Amazon fee is about 15%. With Buy with Prime, that service fee is 3% or $1.50 per order, whichever is greater. And then as far as the fulfillment fee, as I said before, we utilize your FBA inventory to fulfill orders, and we use our multi-channel fulfillment service to fulfill those orders. And we provide that 1 to 2 day delivery, but the shipping rates are comparable to our 3 to 5 day standard ground rates, so that we do provide a very good shipping rate. And we will then handle the fulfillment of all of your Buy with Prime orders through multi-channel fulfillment. And then finally, there's a processing fee. We use APay to process payments, and our fee for that is 2.4%. And then there's a 30% transaction fee. So a lot of times we'll have merchants as well that ask, hey, how does that compare with what I'm paying now? And if there's anyone that's interested, we can also work with you once we take a look at your SKUs to see dimensional weight, size, that we could help you put together a little bit more of a better estimate of those pricing fees for your individual SKUs you might want to use.
And APay is Amazon Pay?
Correct. APay is Amazon Pay.
Awesome.
And then as far as launching Buy with Prime, it's a very easy process. We'd actually have you do steps 1 through 3 on your own. Most merchants do that. And then in the meantime, we would also be setting up a call with our tech team to implement the last 2 steps. So first, If you want to sign up with Buy with Prime, we would send you a link where you just enter your business name, address, and phone number. And then you would link your Seller Central account or your supply chain account with and your Amazon Pay account, and import your existing Amazon product catalog and information into the Buy with Prime merchant portal. And then you can select which Amazon SKUs you want to turn on with Buy with Prime. And then we would have our tech team have a call with you, and we would install the Buy with Prime button code. We'd optimize the widget. And then we've also got some apps as well that we can use for integration, which we'll talk about. We'd help you set those up. And then you would be able to go to your merchant dashboard. That's great. You can go straight to that page.
Okay.
And then you'd be able to access data about your Buy with Prime purchases. And that dashboard is very similar to what you would see on Amazon as far as providing some analytics. And it's really your go-to for any questions that you have on Buy with Prime. So as far as key features, we do have 24/7 support. You can either contact us with the Call Me Now button, or you can enter a case for Buy with Prime. It's a very simple process. We can go to that next page. And then we've also got some apps for the marketplace. We have apps for BigCommerce, Shopify, Adobe, Magneto, and then BigCommerce, where we can integrate your catalog and have your orders go straight into your merchant portal for your D2C site. And then we also do have an app for social ads so that we can help you to create those with the Buy with Prime logos straight from the marketplace. And then there's also an update, a catalog update for Shopify that we can very easily integrate so that if you make any changes on your Shopify account, those updates will automatically be made on the Buy with Prime side as well. And then we also just added a great feature for your detailed pages that enable Buy with Prime. We can also upload Amazon reviews on those detail pages, which will give you the opportunity for Buy with Prime consumers to really have that similar buying experience that they have on Amazon, where they can also check Amazon reviews before making a purchase.
And this is one I know that a lot of the sellers that I have onboarded have been very excited about. So I think this is another poll we can launch here and just see if anyone on the call is interested in learning a little bit more about this live now. We can definitely dive into that a little bit more. So let me go ahead and launch that poll. And since we're doing another poll here, we may as well do another giveaway. So as before, I'll leave this poll open for a couple of minutes. We'll see where everyone stands, and then we can jump into taking a look at those, and we'll do a giveaway after diving into that. And it looks like on this one, 100% everyone who has responded is interested in learning more. So I'm gonna end this poll, and Lynn, I will stop sharing and throw it over to you so you can give us a little bit more of a deep dive into that aspect of Buy with Prime.
Awesome. Let me know when everyone can see the screen with Sharpani.
That's good.
So here's an example of Bunny's bag, which has the Buy with Prime detail, which and also we've got the star ratings and the ratings for Amazon. So if this also had their own ratings, those would be above. But in this case, they're using Amazon.
We lost you for a second again.
I'm back. Can everyone hear me okay? So in this example, we use the Amazon reviews here. And if we click on the ratings, that actually
Can
takes
you share the screen again too? It went away when we dropped you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yep.
Can you go ahead and see the screen?
Yep.
So here, if we just click on the ratings, it's also going to take us down to the Amazon reviews. So you can pick and choose which one of your product detail pages have Amazon reviews. And we can enable those when we also enable the widget. It's a very easy process. So literally when we have that onboarding call, we would be able to onload reviews and the widget within the same phone call.
So if someone has something on their site that has great reviews and the Amazon reviews aren't as good, they could choose not to share Amazon reviews for that product. But if they have a product on their site like this one that doesn't have reviews on their site or has, you know, less favorable reviews, they could share the Amazon reviews to kind of balance that out.
Absolutely. And we do have sellers that will pick some over others where they want to have reviews. The only thing is it's either all or nothing. I do have sellers every once in a while that say, can I pick which reviews are on Amazon? And with that, they're going to get this, the consumer is going to get the same review experience on your website that they would get on Amazon.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, they can't choose to show their Amazon reviews, but only show their good Amazon reviews.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Then
All right. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I could share one more example as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let me know when you can see Snuggle
Yep,
Puppy.
that's Snuggle Puppy is up.
And this one, it's not often that you see a product that's got 58,000 plus reviews. So for this seller, it was a good opportunity for them to really highlight those reviews from Amazon onto their website. And you can see where they have also chosen to really focus those Amazon reviews near their Buy with Prime widget. And then they also have another 5,000 of their own reviews, which are shown under Snuggle Puppy. So we would be able to also have these reviews listed up here if they were to choose that. But it can really provide a great shopping experience for consumers. And then they can click and see those Amazon reviews as well.
And how easy is it for the brand to kind of customize that? You showed us that they can have just their Amazon reviews or both Amazon and their own reviews, and they kind of can be displayed a little bit differently. Is that something they have to do on their own, or is there support for that?
There's both. In this instance, the sellers did that on their own, but that's something that if it's of interest, we can work with our tech team to see if that's something that's compatible with the website for the merchant that we're working with.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. I think Lisa, if you are ready, we can do another giveaway.
I get the best job of the day. I'm like the hero here. Okay, we have JR. Woo!
All right, JR. Hang out until the end. Of course, as we've said before, we're just giving initials now. If there are multiple people with the same initials, you might be a winner, you might not, but we'll give the full names of all 3 winners at the end of the webinar today. So definitely make sure you're sticking around until the end to get that confirmation. All right, Len, if you're ready, I'll jump back over to the deck.
Sounds good.
All right, I should have been sharing while Lisa was talking. See if I do this right or run into any technical issues.
No,
Everybody see that? Good to go?
Yeah, we can just go to the next slide. And then as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there is an app to integrate social ads with Buy with Prime, where on Facebook and Instagram, we can create social ads that feature that Buy with Prime logo. And that's something that can be accessed through your merchant portal. We'll go to the next page.
Oops. The right one, Buy with Prime Marketing Toolkit. Sorry.
Yeah. And then, once you're onboarded with Buy with Prime, you have access to our Buy with Prime Marketing Toolkit, where you can use the Buy with Prime badge. And we have our brand guidelines that allow you to create custom marketing assets for campaigns that you want to create to let consumers know that they can utilize Buy with Prime at checkout.
All right. I think that's the end of the main presentation, but there might be some other points we can talk about as soon as Lynn is able to to get out of the out of the dark there.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn my light on again.
Is it a motion sensor?
All the technical fun.
This is the world that we
This is
live in.
Amazon being frugal. The lights automatically turn off when it doesn't sense movement.
So
it's
yeah, so
important.
if you just kept doing this during your presentation, it would be okay.
Yeah, sure. That might be a good call.
So I did have two other polls, Lynn, unless there's something else you wanted to jump into immediately. I did have two other things that, two other topics that aren't part of the deck that we could find out what interest might be amongst the attendees.
That would be awesome. Let's go for it.
All right, great. So let's see here. First one is going to be promotions. So anyone here interested in learning about how Buy with Prime is featuring merchants in promotions and on Amazon? Let's go ahead and drop your answer to that. I'll leave it open for a couple more seconds here. And I think we might be about ready. All right, 5 more seconds and then I'll close this one. All right, and again, we've got another yes. We've got about 86% who are interested in learning about this feature. So let's go ahead and dive into that one.
Awesome. And I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. Let me know when you can see this Buy with Prime page. This is actually the Buy with Prime page that is located on Amazon.com. And we just finished a very successful program with Prime, where we were promoting Buy with Prime merchants during Prime Day. But this shows you our page that we have on the site, where we're actually featuring merchants that are participating with Buy with Prime. And here you can see the different categories. And when you click on a merchant, it actually takes you off of Amazon to the product, to their collections page or the product detail page for that particular product. So to my knowledge, it's the first time we're actually taking consumers off of Amazon to merchant websites to be able to make a purchase. And with a lot of products too, it makes sense to do that because you can provide a lot more information about the product on your site than you might be able to do with a product detail page or one page on Amazon. So consumers can make a purchase there. And then we also do promotions throughout the year. We did a health and wellness event in the fall. We did a women-owned business event, and we've done some other ones as well. So when you're working with a Buy with Prime account executive, they can help you with marketing and promotion and really try and focus on finding events that we're doing that make sense to feature your product. And of course, when we do that, we're also promoting these special events with social and other advertising mechanisms as well that we include our merchants in.
That's great. And yeah, just something you said to me really struck with me with, if you're working with that Buy with Prime executive. So that's, really a good reason why you should make sure after this event today, if you're interested, reach out to us, whether it's AO2 or Seller Labs, whichever, wherever you are a client, and make sure that you're connecting through us so that we can make sure that we get you the most support possible for, starting this Buy with Prime journey and getting access to all of the, different things that you might be eligible for your brand.
Absolutely.
I would say, Lynn, keep sharing your screen in case we want to do anything with this next poll. So we've got one last poll, and Lisa, I think after this poll, we'll go ahead and do the last giveaway as well. So be getting ready for that. So the last poll is about A/B testing. And the question on this one is anyone currently conducting A/B testing on their own website? And whether you are or are not, are you interested in learning how Buy with Prime can help you do A/B testing on your website? So again, we'll give you just a couple seconds to answer here. Got about 5 more seconds now. Got some answers rolling in. All right, last call. I'm going to close this one out. And once again, got a lot of really engaged attendees today. Everyone's interested. I'm going to end this poll, but we have 89% of the audience is interested in learning more about A/B testing. I'm not sure, actually, I think this is one you don't have a graphic or anything to share for, but if you just want to talk around that.
Absolutely. So A/B testing is a great way to really see conversion and how Buy with Prime is affecting sales on your website. And what we would do is once you integrate the Buy with Prime widget on your site, we'd have a meeting with you just to make sure that A/B testing makes a lot of sense for you, that we've got enough products enabled for Buy with Prime, and also that we've got enough site traffic that we're going to get enough people clicking on the widget to be able to provide an accurate test. So once we do that preliminary investigation with you, if we feel this makes a lot of sense, we work with VWO's software, and we will upload that for our merchants. And then we do a 30-day A/B test where we half the consumers would see the Buy with Prime widget on the detailed page when they check out, and half wouldn't. And then based on that, after 30 days, we can see the difference and the uplift in conversion when using Buy with Prime versus not using Buy with Prime. I will say too, with A/B testing, we would also hold off on putting any FAQs, doing any advertising for Buy with Prime, because we really want to get a good sense of that conversion rate just with Buy with Prime being on your site. So we usually do that first. Then once that A/B test is completed, then if we wanted to do FAQs, collection pages, things like that, we could add that for you as well. And then we can also, once that initial testing is done, we can A/B test Amazon reviews as well, so that we can get an idea of what that conversion rate is when we add Amazon reviews to your site. And again, that's something that we would work with AO2 and your account team to implement that for you.
That's great. And yeah, so I think that's another great point is, you know, some of you may already be using Buy with Prime, but not using some of these features yet. So, you know, talk with us if you've already kind of started implementing things, but you maybe you didn't know that even A/B testing was available, or some of these things were available. We can absolutely, you know, jump in at this point and start helping you to really leverage all of the features that are available now, and then everything that's going to be coming out in the future, because I'm sure this is not the end of what's going to be available for Buy with Prime.
Absolutely, and it's great timing too, going into fourth quarter and promotions that Amazon will do around fall, back to school, and then also holiday. So thanks for joining us today. This is a great time to be talking with you about Buy with Prime.
Absolutely. All right, so I think that's officially the end of the presentation portion of this, and we're going to jump into Q&A. And I know we've had a lot coming in, and I know that David has been answering some things behind the scenes. So thank you for that, for keeping everybody, you know, making sure we get everything answered there. But we've got a lot more questions, and we'll go back and answer some of those out loud too, so that everybody who may not be reading those can get those answers. But real quick, before we jump into that, Lisa, are you ready for that last giveaway?
Sure. Hold on one sec. Okay, CV.
All right, CV. V is not a very common one, so I'm guessing you might know who you are and that you are officially a winner. But again, we will be giving all of the names live at the end of the event, right before we sign off. So stick around to make sure you know if you are a winner or not. And now I can throw it over, Aman, to you, and you can get us started with the Q&A, and then we'll probably have a lot of participation here. It won't all be on Lynn anymore, but Aman, take it away.
Definitely. So I have just a list of questions that I know have come in from our sellers that I want to start addressing. And please, feel free, if you think of things, throw them in the Q&A and we'll get to everything. I feel like we have enough time to cover all the questions, so we should be good. And the first question I want to start with is a client of ours recently asked me about being able to offer some sort of free sample offering through the Buy with Prime checkout process. And Lisa and Lynn, I wanted to ask you, is that possible? And maybe what are some of the tactics that you have employed to help other sellers get those free or kind of like sample offerings up on Buy with Prime?
Lisa, do you want me to go ahead and take that one?
Yeah.
Sure. So, and that's a great question. There's a couple things that I would suggest we do, but first, the answer is most likely yes. And usually the best way to do that is just to create a new SKU with that sample. And then we could offer that via Buy with Prime with a new SKU separate from the pricing and the regular SKU that might have variations to it. So, what would make a lot of sense too is that we could also just have a quick call with a member of our tech team and kind of look at the back end of the site and figure out the best way to implement that for you. And it's certainly something that's possible.
Great.
And Aman, too, you bring up a great point too about promotions. We can do promotion codes. So just like with Amazon, we can do the % off or we can do $1 off. So if you have promotions that you might be running on your website, we can absolutely include them with Buy with Prime as well.
Awesome. And I guess just kind of leading off of that, I saw that there were some questions about SERP and just like pricing and how that impacts. If we offer a discount on a Buy with Prime product on our website, do we have to match that offer on Amazon to meet any pricing regulations, or are we able to offer different pricing on the two platforms?
You can definitely offer different pricing on the two platforms.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn.
Yep. And when we upload from your catalog from Amazon, the main reason that we're doing that is just so that it's easy, it's uploaded and then we can move the information onto Buy with Prime. If you make any changes on your website, it is not integrated back to Amazon. It's completely separate. So, so really all Buy with Prime is doing is providing a way to check out and purchase on your D2C.
Definitely. And I can attest, as someone who's been on many of the calls with you, Lynn, just getting everything uploaded and then choosing afterward is the way to go. Makes it a lot easier. Thank you. The next question I want to jump into are, what web store platforms are Buy with Prime compatible?
Pretty much most of them. We work with Magneto, BigCommerce, Shopify, Woo. And then as well, if you have a custom site, again, I would create a call with our tech team, and then we could kind of take a look at what you've got and find out the best way that we could implement Buy with Prime. But we've done a lot of one-offs as well. So it might just take a couple of extra steps.
Got it. Yeah. No, and we've done it with Magento with you. We've done it with WooCommerce, and we've done it with Shopify. I even think we got a WordPress site, which was custom coded to get that integrated. So I've seen it be used many times too across different platforms. And I just love how easy it is to work with your team. When we get on those tech calls, I feel like you guys just plug and play and we're good to go within an hour or so.
Awesome. It's great to hear.
The next thing I want to, just speaking about gift cards, can shoppers use Amazon gift cards for Buy with Prime purchases, or are those only available to be used on Amazon.com?
Those are only for Amazon.com.
Got it. So just keep aware, winners, unfortunately, you cannot use your gift cards for Buy with Prime purchases, but you can for Amazon. So if you see the brand and you see their Buy with Prime button, just go over to Amazon and order it from there. Going into payments for Buy with Prime, and I know there's a separate portal established, do the payments from the Buy with Prime program, since they're utilizing the FBA stock, also get counted with my regular disbursement from Amazon, or are those tracked separately through the Buy with Prime portal?
They're tracked separately. There's a couple ways you can access them. And first, let me say that the way you're paid is through your an Amazon Pay account. So if you don't have one, we could easily set one up on our onboarding call. The disbursements can go to the same bank account that potentially you're utilizing for Amazon, but it is a separate payment transaction. And usually once we're up and running with Buy with Prime, within 2 to 3 days, you'll get daily disbursements from Amazon for your payments. And that will come through APay. And you can see that either on your APay account in Seller Central, or you can see it on your merchant portal.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. And kind of doubling up on that reporting question, for the orders, will the Buy with Prime orders show up in my Seller Central reporting for sales and inventory, or are those also separate?
Another great question. There's actually a couple places where you can see your orders. You can see them on your Seller Central account if you go into your orders and you click on non-Amazon orders, and you'll see them there. And they actually usually start with the number 32, so they're pretty easy to see. And you can also, if you have the order number, check the status of the order through Seller Central. You can also see your orders in your merchant portal. And finally, if you've integrated the Owly apps, you'll be able to see fulfilled orders in your merchant console for your website as well.
So what I'm hearing is just for reporting and for sales, very easy and visible to see this data in multiple places. Sounds good.
Exactly.
Cool. And the last question I have for my preceded list, and then I want to jump into some of the actual Q&As. How do returns work for Buy with Prime programs? And I see Lynn is getting the lights up, so we'll give her a second.
So returns are very easy, and I don't think I'm ever going to use this office again, so I apologize for that. But as far as returns, a consumer can use the email that they get from their purchase, and they can implement returns right from there. And they'll get the return label shipped to them so that they can return the product. Our return policy is the same as the Amazon return policy. So it's very easy and similar to what primary users are used to having as far as returns on Amazon versus Buy with Prime.
Got it. And just to dig into that a little further to make sure I understand, if I get a return on Amazon for one of our sellers, normally it'll just come back and we have like our warehouse address for returns into there. If I also have that same warehouse address kind of listed for returns in Seller Central for that product, would any Buy with Prime orders also just get returned to that address if they are returned?
The Buy with Prime orders go back to Amazon and then they're put back into inventory.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much for clarifying. Cool. And then I wanted to get into some of the questions in our Q&A, starting with Leanne's. She mentioned, what are some of the common challenges with the initial Buy with Prime setup? And Lynn, I know you can speak to this, and I'd also, if there's anything I can jump in on after you go, I'd love to jump in. But what are some of the common issues you've seen just from the onboarding calls and the initial months of getting set up?
I mean, actually, the onboarding has been pretty seamless. We do see sometimes some issues as far as creating an APay account, and that's usually something that we can troubleshoot and is specific to the merchant. And then also, I think it's just a learning curve for the merchant to figure out how to best utilize promotions codes. And then also to kind of get working with us, I think you really want to optimize Buy with Prime and make sure that you do create a collections page. We are doing the testing. We're really getting a good sense of what's driving sales with Buy with Prime on your website and dive into that. So I really haven't seen too many things that are different than what you might find on Amazon. I mean, are there sometimes issues with, getting inventory into stock in time, or, trying to make sure that return, the typical when you've got an e-commerce platform, and we see that as well. But for the most part, I think that we do have a good support team, and you'll have an Amazon executive that can help you kind of walk through those things.
Agreed. I think having that onboarding call is just so crucial to hitting the ground running and getting everything set up correctly. If I can speak to any of the challenges that I've seen with any of our clients or other sellers I've worked with in the past, most of the common issues in the initial setup phase come from not having enough focus on the website itself from the seller side or from the brand side. So not having like the framework or the frame of the website down correctly to be able to easily add in pages or do the custom coding you need for promotions and things like that, I would say has been a holdup that we have faced. And fortunately for our agency, we have an in-house web development team, so we can actually jump in, plug and play, and get a lot of those actions up and running, whether it's the marketing events marketing banners, or if it's promotions. I understand that when you're a seller and you're trying to do everything yourself, and if you don't have that designated person or team, it can often be a struggle to just make those changes to your website because it's not been set up correctly or whatever it is. But working with an agency like ours, I've seen that we've been able to kind of jump in, do some simple changes to the website and fix the frame so that it's easy to add those pages, easy to add those marketing banners and so forth. But I agree. The BioPrime team, the tech team has just been super helpful in getting things set up from the get-go. And I haven't seen any major issues like 30 to 60 days in. Everything seems to be pretty good. Cool. And Jess, I'm not sure if I'm seeing the whole Q&A. The only question I see aside from Leanne's is one from Henry. And it's
Yeah,
asking
and
me-
just real quick,
Go
I'll
ahead.
let you know. So David's been answering a lot of them live. So if you take a look at what's been answered, I think there's still some of those we could, say out loud just because everybody may not have gone and read those answers there. We got about 3 minutes left for questions before I want to make sure we have time to announce the winners and just wrap things up.
Got it. Makes sense. I think my hosting permissions got taken away during the meeting, so I don't know if I can see all the answered. I'm only seeing one. So if you want to run through them, and I can kind of elaborate too, if you give me the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And then guys, anything we don't answer live or anything that was answered here, but we didn't maybe say out loud, we can share all of that after the fact as well. So yeah, one question was, does the Buy with Prime button only display for those shoppers who are not already logged into their Prime account?
Got it. And I believe the answer was it does show. Isn't that correct, Lynn?
Yeah, that's correct. The Buy with Prime button will show for any consumer that's on the detail page, unless there's an A/B test running, in which case only half the consumers will see the Buy with Prime button. And the consumer does, if they want to check on Buy with Prime and check out using Buy with Prime, they may be have an option to be able to have a free 60 to 90-day trial for Buy with Prime, so they can still make that purchase on your site. And you can either decide if you want to keep that trial option or turn it off. And that's something that we determine when we implement Buy with Prime on your site.
Nice. And I think the only other reason that the button would disappear is if we reach below a certain stock threshold. Is that correct? I think it's 5 units or so.
It's not, that is correct. And the stock limit threshold varies. It's not necessarily 5 units. It used to be, but now it may be more or less depending with how much stock we need to have in order to fulfill within that Prime promise that's provided at checkout. So, with some products where you may not have as much inventory, if it's a larger price item, it might take a little bit longer, but the consumer will see what that delivery promise date is. And if that's the case, usually it might be a little bit less inventory in stock as well.
So it depends more on your IPI and kind of where your shipments are in the progression of the FBA process. That makes a lot of sense.
Correct. But it will definitely not be there if there is no inventory.
Yeah, that's great.
And then we've got one more here that actually ties into that. And this, I think, will be the last one we answer live. I did see, Henry, you've got a couple of questions in here that I definitely want to make sure we get you some answers to. And these sometimes are a little bit more operational, which is great also because we are a full service agency. We can help you with all of these questions. So we will make sure to follow up with you directly after the event. But the question we have here that kind of ties into what we were just talking about is, will Buy with Prime items go in and out of the collections page based on what's available for FBA inventory?
Usually the collections page stays, it doesn't come off the collections page. The Buy with Prime product will stay on that page. It just won't have the Buy with Prime button featured on the page. So potentially if that product is on the collections page, a consumer could still check out not using Buy with Prime.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
And then to get it to remove from the collections page, Lynn, I'm assuming we would just turn off the Buy with Prime fulfillment for that product if we didn't want it there anymore, if we were like out of stock of that product for a certain amount of time.
Correct. You can toggle products on and off at will just by going into your merchant portal and doing that. So it's a very easy process. So yes, if for any reason you need to turn it off, or you've got a delay in inventory or something like that you know is happening, you can certainly do that.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that is our last live question. I want to make sure we give Lisa a chance really quickly to announce those, the full names of all of those winners so everybody knows who they are, and then we will absolutely be following up later on today after the event to make sure we get the correct information to get you those gift cards. So Lisa.
Okay, number 1 is Leanne Fry. Yay, Leanne. Number 2 is Juan Rodriguez. Congratulations. And the last one is Christian Velasquez. Congratulations. Woo!
Yay! And thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for sticking around the whole time. Congratulations to the winners. We're so glad that you joined us here today. Hopefully you learned something about Buy with Prime that you didn't know, and it's piqued your interest a little, and you'll be interested in reaching out to learn a little bit more. And that leads me to, we've got a little call to action here. After this event, we will be launching a survey. So as soon as you close out of the webinar, you will be prompted to answer a survey. And we've just got a couple of questions on there. The biggest one is, are you interested in a Buy with Prime audit to see what kind of lift the Buy with Prime program could bring to your business? So if you could just check yes or no on that. If you're interested, we'll be connecting you with Lisa or with David to take a look at your account, look at your products, your business, your website, and just give some feedback on how this program could be helpful for you and your business. So definitely, if you don't answer anything else on that survey, go ahead and give that question and answer for us so we can make sure to get you connected. And then we also are just looking for some feedback. How did you like the event? What feedback can you give us on what we could do better, or what you might be looking for to get out of this in the future? And then of course, the Q&A is still open, the chat is still open. If you have additional questions or feedback before you get to the survey, go ahead and drop that in now. I will get the full transcript. We will follow up with everyone and make sure we get all of your questions answered, or take all of your comments into consideration for what we're doing next. And that's really it for what we have today. So thank you again to Len for that great presentation. Thank you to Lisa for most of all running that giveaway, but also just being a great asset to us for the clients we've onboarded already, and both Lisa and David for all that you're going to do, moving forward with everyone who's interested from this event, and David also for answering all those questions live in such detail. That's really helpful. So thank you to everyone. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Yeah, thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.